So before we get started with this session, I'm filming it with a voiceover because they were cutting down my neighbor's tree and it was very loud and Lacey was really scared. So I started off here. I wanted to do it downstairs, but I couldn't do it downstairs because it was just too noisy. Lacey was too panicked. I'm sorting out my pictures. I'm trying to figure out what goes in at the end of April because I do have some pictures for the end of April that I wanted to include, and then figure out what goes in May. The reason why this is so late is because Shutterfly took a month, well, almost a month, to ship out my order and they wouldn't respond to me. I'm using one of the cardstock pages from that big cardstock book I got from Hobby Lobby. I hauled it. I picked this like army green one. I love this shade for the hiking pictures that I'm going to include. I think it just goes really well, and as always I do this by using a coffee type paper folded in half to trace out my cutout, and then I go and I trim it up once it's glued down. I thought I was going to use two of these, and then I decided I wasn't going to do back-to-back foundation pages with this, so that's why I folded it and then unfolded it. Here I am gluing it down, as you can see. I mean, like, really, I could have probably just cut this part out. Oh, I'm holding down the other pages with a highlighting palette because they kept popping up. Here I'm just trying to decide what pictures I want to include. I knew I wanted to include this one picture, but I printed it out in a smaller size and in a larger size because I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. I went with the smaller one because I decided I wanted to journal a bit on this page. I'm running so low on this glue, guys. I think you can see. I do like this glue. I feel like it holds pretty well and dries pretty quickly. So here I had to move because Lacey kept bumping into my tripod, and I decided I was going to use some washi tape for the top part of this picture. Here I am journaling a conversation basically that my husband and I had when I was up the side of this hill in this picture, because I thought it was pretty funny. I'm actually going to do a separate video where I show you guys the book because this one is pretty long, so I'll do a separate video where we go through the end of April and May together, and I will read what I journaled because none of it is too personal. I feel like I can share. It's definitely not that big of a deal. And then when I cut this out, I decided to do kind of like this bubble cut, as I call it. You'll see what I mean. And I had to do it a couple of times just to play with how large the paper would be. I didn't want to journal on top of this paper foundation page because it was a little bulky on the other page. It just made it a little bit difficult for me. That's why I journaled on a separate page. Here's like my little bubble cutout, as I call it. Looks like a thought bubble, kind of. And I had to go and do it a few times just to make sure it wasn't too large. I glued it down, and then I'm just adding little bits of washi at the end of or at the corners, I should say. I really like that. So I decided to make a pocket with that other army green cardstock, and I'm just going to mark off where I need to cut it. And then I'm going to cut that again. I wanted the pocket to be precise. Sometimes I'm not too picky and I don't mind if it's a little bit off, but I wanted this one to be precise. So I glued that down, and then I went and got some washi tape. I wanted to use the butterfly one. I felt like it went really well with the hiking pictures. I wanted to make a journal card with a bit of cardstock. That way I could do some journaling. This is a selfie, but I wanted to journal because I had my mask on and I was taking my dog for a walk, so I kind of wanted to journal that. No one was with me, or else I would have had, like my husband or somebody take the picture of me and my dog, so it wouldn't have just been a selfie. But my makeup looks really pretty, so that's nice. And here I am just journaling about how we're still social distancing and wearing masks and all that. And you can see Lacey is in a proper panic over there, and I felt so bad. She was even worse downstairs. It was louder downstairs, so we had to stay upstairs, and I tried to comfort her a few times. I think it's like in the video where I stopped to try and console her a couple times. I don't know, I might have cut it out, but the poor thing. I really love the way that butterfly washi tape looks with the hiking photos. I love this picture, so I wanted to include that. I wanted this to make sure the ink was dry. I didn't want to just plop it in there and smudge the ink. I think I'm creating a foundation page here. Oh no, I'm not. I'm actually gluing some lace down because this is my anniversary page and I wanted to hide the twine. I do like the twine, but I just felt like it didn't really look right with the other things I had going on for this page and the next page. So this is a picture of me and my husband. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out where I'm placing everything. These flowers are from my wedding. They're from the centerpiece, and I decided I want to use them. I had to trim them because they were a little too bulky, and then I wound up deciding if I were to gather them together that it would be easiest to work with them, so I gathered them together with some lace and glued it. It almost looks like a little mini wedding bouquet. So this is where I messed up. I glued this picture without making my May tab, but I was able to remove the picture, move it down a little bit, and squeeze in my May tab. I'm journaling here, so I haven't realized that I messed up yet. For these two pages, I wanted them to be a little bit on the plain side. I felt like they didn't need a lot of decoration. I definitely wanted to journal on the one, and the other one I made a really cute envelope for. So I felt like they didn't need a whole lot going on. And here's where I realized I did not put my May tab, so I'm like, great, can I move this down? Did I screw up this whole thing? And I was able to, and apparently I'm responding to a text message. But I was able to move it down just a little bit, and luckily May is a really small word, and I was able to squeeze it up there. This is the adorable envelope I made, and this is a picture from the wedding. It's a cute little Polaroid, and I'm just writing wedding memories up here. I decided to put the envelope bottom and also include the flowers here. Love this envelope. I made it off camera. It did take me a little while because I put all these little pearls on there. I did make another envelope. I see me make one, but I think I'm going to do a video where I make them as like a tutorial, show you guys how to do it. It's really cute, really easy. I used to do these things with my brother when he was little, and I just thought it would be really fun to add this. I had this Polaroid from the wedding, so I thought it would be really fun. And I love this page. So here I just glued my foundation pages off camera. I thought it was getting repetitive. Like, did you really need to see me glue 100 of them? Probably not. So I did that. I did a pocket, and now I'm adding washi tape down the middle, and you can see a little bit of the lace sticking out. I like that. I'm also adding washi tape to the side of that pocket as well. I didn't want a lot going on here. This is a pocket where it's going to hold a lot of pictures, and that's going to be it. That's all that page is. It's going to hold hiking pictures. I wound up adding more hiking pictures to this. I thought that color looked great with the blues in the sky, the greens in the grass. I'm just sorting through pictures, trying to figure out what goes where, what I'm going to use, what I'm not. I hiked a lot in May. As you can see, I have a lot of hiking pictures. I love hiking. It's one of my favorite things to do, so May was really fun for me. I don't even remember what I did on this page. We're gonna find out in a minute together. Oh, I think I know. I think this is like the family hike page. Okay, so I went for a family hike, so I have a few pictures from that hike that I want to add here. That one picture that I condensed is of a frog that we found on the hike, and I took a picture of it. I like frogs, guys. I used to catch them as a child. So, and that's a picture of all of us during the hike. And I'm just writing family hike down. In Pennsylvania, we're at the point where we're allowed to be around each other again and see each other, go to certain places. Certain places are opening up, so this is something that we all did together. This is a little flower that I just wanted to add because, you know, nature. And then I'm adding just a little bit more washi tape because I'm a big fan of that butterfly washi tape. I really like it with the hiking pictures. Going back to that book, I think I'm creating a journaling card, but I can't be sure. Or no, I'm doing my envelope here. This is the envelope, the second envelope I made. This one, I coffee dyed some of the edges. This was a super easy project, and I feel like it added a lot to my journal. Now I'm deciding where I want to put it. This is the picture that I want to put in the envelope, so I have to condense it down to fit in there. And then I decided it would look cute on the top of the page. This picture I wanted to do a journaling card for. My sister's cat even came on the hike, so I'm trimming down the photo just a little bit, and then I'm going to make a journal card out of this darker cardstock. You just kind of have to play around, see what fits, what doesn't. Sometimes you have to edit things a little bit more than what you thought you were going to have to originally, and that's pretty much what is going on here. I'm just playing around with sizing. This picture I think is just so pretty on its own that I wanted to go ahead and keep it very simple on the page. It's just such a pretty location, so I just did a little bit of washi on the corners. last page got cut off, unfortunately. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.